Let's take a look at the top 10 Minecraft 1.18.1 mods in the month of March 2022. There's a completely different combination of different genres and types of mobs in here, some of them weapons mods and some of them mob mods which add some new animals. I've handpicked a lot of completely different mods which will all offer something unique in their own regard. Let's begin. Number 10, Chirpy's Wildlife. This high quality mod adds a ton of creatures, 53 different variants and types of animals and insects to be exact. This mod adds some different mobs, all with very nice behaviour sets. For an example, you can catch and release the smaller animals and insects by right clicking with them. There's songbirds that have their own unique bird song sound sets for atmospheric immersion, small animals that can be placed on item frames or atop player heads, and there's rare albino variations of many of the containing creatures within this mod. The containing book that comes with the mod features detailed descriptions and accompanying illustrations for each mob so that you can learn about them, and there's a config file within here too which lets you set the spawn frequencies and locations of the creatures. The good thing is to note is that some of the mobs have different colour variants, as is the case with many of the different bird types that come in extremely vibrant colours. The models for these creatures are of very high quality and they have nice animation sets thanks to the GeckoLib API. Some of my favourites here are the butterflies and the reptiles. Number 9, Little Logistics. This nice utility mod is a water logistics package that includes additions in the form of new tugs and barges which can be used for specialised reasons. This mod serves as an affordable, efficient solution for long distance transport across your world, and it has an in-game guide with information regarding the mod, although you'll need just enough items to view the recipes. The vessels are the main segment of the mod. There's barges that are multifunctional and tugs which drag these barges along. If these vessels get stuck along the way, you can use fishing rods to budge them a little or drag them with by using leads which can be hooked to the back of the boats. The steam tug operates via a furnace on fuel, and they can load its fuel through hoppers placed at the top of tug docks. The energy tug utilizes forge energy, and it can be charged via a vessel charger, having an extra slot for a capacitor which helps it if it runs out of charge midway. The chest barge holds items to transfer to other locations. The seater barge seats one player as a vehicle, and the auto fishing barge fishes passively using the vanilla fishing rod's loot table, and it does this to acquire loot drops, needing to be around open water to deploy its nets. The final two are the chunk loader barge that keeps a 3x3 area of chunks centered upon the entity, and the fluid tank barge which transports fluids cross country and can be interacted with using fluid hoppers to actually unload it. Number 7, Spelunker. In the game Terraria, there's a special potion that lets you see all nearby ores in the surrounding area, the Spelunker potion. Inspired by Terraria, this mod adds the same potion to Minecraft, giving you the Spelunker effect when you drink from it. This highlights all of the ores within your surroundings, which is defaulted within a 16 block radius, although this is totally fully customizable in the config file. You can brew this potion from base ingredients, although if you want to find it as loot, you'll only be able to do so by getting it from mineshaft structures, which has a 35% drop rate. Number 6, Boomshot. For some added firepower, check out the Boomshot mod. This mod adds 2 different specialized cannons that pack a serious punch, sending you absolutely flying in the opposite direction if you fire them. Sure, you could actually use that to your advantage to move around large spaces, but the true perks are using them in combat, especially since when you land, they send out a powerful shockwave. Just be careful about the fall damage here. Number 5, Creatures from the Snow. Snow biomes are super magical, but they're short of a few features if I must say so. This mod aims to address that by introducing some interesting new mobs and a few blocks. Penguins are found on the snowy beaches and nearby ice spikes, and they can breed by using tropical fish which will spawn a hatching egg. They can also be tamed with cod and slide freely across the ice. Belugas are situated in deep cold oceans, shedding off their skin and leaving behind beluga fat, which is a food source, and just like dolphins, they love to chase down boats. Narwhals swim in the deep cold oceans too, and they randomly chip off their tusk shards. If you collect 3 of them, you can complete a narwhal tusk craft. Within groves and snowy tigers are the snow trovers. These are little critters that can be tamed with honey that look around for food sources. On snowy beaches, you'll find seals that simply lay around being super lazy. Snowworms creep around ice spikes, slithering through and looking for prey, but if you feed them raw beef, they'll yield a hatchable egg. The final mob is the Sniker Bosch, which is found within snowy plains and it sleeps at night time, but you need to be careful around these because they'll steal loot which is around them on the ground. Number 4, Farsight. This is a good one if you have a toaster of a PC and want to still witness what the game looks like at its very best. Well, I've got you covered with this particular mod. This mod is basically a client-side utility edition that lets you see much further out into the distance to view already visited chunks, which if used on multiplayer will let you see farther out than the server's chunk render distance. This mod lets you have an extremely high view distance on the client side, and it boasts the fact that it causes no additional loading or lag like the default render distance might do for weaker machines, functioning through making the client not instantly remove chunks outside of the server's view distance. You can still configure the native vanilla render distance with this mod, but there's a separate configuration menu to modify the render distance that actually comes with this mod's feature. Basically, you have to explore areas of the server to be able to see them in the distance when you go far away from them. It basically shows whatever you've already rendered around your player's position. Number 3, neutral netherite armor. This small simple mod adds new behavioral interactions to the netherite armor set when wearing the gear. Basically, if you equip the full netherite armor, it will now cause piglins to remain completely neutral to you whilst you're wearing it. This makes sense because netherite ingots do actually require gold in the crafting process along the way, so it's not exactly far-fetched for it to have this effect. Number 2, Cosmetica. There was some great player customization mods in the past, but many have faded into non-existence. That's why I decided to cover Cosmetica. It's a mod that lets you customize your player model, and it sets customization to a whole new level through the addition of all new capes, hats, shoulder pieces, and companions and other more accessories, making players slightly more personal and interesting. This mod has some support for capes in Elytra up to a 1024x resolution, with custom hats, shoulder buddies, custom lore, aka a second name tag above your head for roleplay reasons, and support for other third-party capes. You basically upload your own capes, hats and shoulder pieces and make them via Blockbench, letting you then incorporate them into the mod and use them on your player model. Number 1, InvMove. This is kind of similar in concept to a lot of battle royale games which let you move around and loot. This tiny utility makes it possible to enable complete movement whilst within the inventory GUI menu. So for an example, you can now move around, jump about, or sprint whilst all within inside the inventory screen, also hiding the darkened background tint within the non-pausing inventory dialog screens. You can of course disable both of these new features in the config menu, but I don't know why you would. This mod is client-side however, but it's extremely useful. And that concludes the 10 picks for this month for Java Edition. Let me know which of these 10 mods was your favourite and the reason why, and also make sure to mention any awesome new mods which you think deserve a feature. YouTube says 97% of you are not subscribed, so if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications and slap the like button for more Minecraft mod videos like this one. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.